Hello, lovely humans. I'm Luna Robbie, and you are listening to Sex Stories, a podcast of personal histories where we learn from each other and practice deep, non judgmental listening in order to co create a more loving world. If you want to express your love for this show, you can find ad free episodes on Patreon, get personal with me on OnlyFans, sign up to be a guest, and check out the awesome brands to support our show. Links are in the description below or visit sexstoriespodcast.com. Now, please enjoy this episode. Joining me for our episode today is the one, the only, the incredible, my right-hand human, Kimberly Loftus.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good because you are here we're doing questions, celebrations, and our sexy learnings.
Yeah.
In this mailbag retrospective. So we love getting questions from people. I don't know what a lot of these are. I think I've glanced at some of them, but Kimberly is helping me stay organized and on top of non-logistically urgent emails.
Yeah.
So that's what we're covering here today. And you can always write to us at sexstoriespodcast@gmail.com if you want your question or story or share to be featured on a future mailbag episode. We do them, what do we do them? Once a quarter-ish?
Once a quarter-ish. We wiggle into it.
We wiggle into it in divine sex stories timing. I'm on an annoying chair. Oops, sorry. Oh no, this is so fun. I'll be calm. Okay.
Stay still.
Okay, so what are we starting with?
So we're just going to dive right into questions. Our first one is from DB. And DB says, Dear Miss Robbie, I will be taking a trip to the Vegas area before the end of the year. And I was hoping to take a side trip to a brothel. To that end, I started doing some research and I came across your site. Your How to Brothel posts have given me invaluable insight into how brothels work and what is and isn't appropriate. If you don't mind, I have a question about how the activities in a party are planned/discussed. I have had a lifelong fascination with hypnosis in the context of porn, and one of my fantasies is role-playing where I am the one being hypnotized and then made to fulfill the sexual desires of my mistress or master, including actions that I may have not considered or that don't excite me. However, from what I understand from your blog posts, all activities in a party get discussed and approved beforehand, which would seem to remove any of the spontaneity from the hypnosis session. In other words, I want to be told what to do, not tell you to tell me what to do. Is this a workable scenario, or am I just out of luck? Thank you, DB.
Okay, so this is a great question and one people ask a lot. And this is also a funny place where my brain can't tell the difference between what that person is saying, because my brain is always like, of course you can only do a thing once you agree to do the thing, and you have to agree to do it together. And I will tell you, but that's the magic of co-creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for any kink or role play scenario, we always draw the outside lines of the bounds that are in place. At the ranch or anywhere in any kink scenario, my hope is that people are always having conversations, negotiating clearly and explicitly. Here's the boundary of where I think the yes is. Yeah. Here's our contingency plan about what words I will say to either pause and check in or fully stop the play. We call those safe words. I use the classic, well, I like mercy for yellow, red, yellow, green, but I love, especially if I am in a slightly semi-formal mistress sort of context. I like mercy because they can ask for mercy, and I'm the benevolent mistress unless we've agreed on something harsher,
Makes sense.
So there's a difference between like mercy is my slow down word. I call mercy in this scene, and of course I check in as a responsible top, versus someone who's like, and I don't want you to stop when I say mercy, and I say there will be no mercy here. So okay, different things. So even if we are setting the outside edges of a play container, you never know what's going to happen in it, right? So in any context, in or outside the ranch, to make that type of fantasy safe and delicious, you have to be able to communicate to your partner, here's what I want to have happen in this scene. Again, that's inside the ranch or outside the ranch. But inside the ranch, it is required in order to make an agreement.
Yeah.
And I think, am I missing anything? As long as you make that clear container, the magic of playing with another adult human who has shown their desire means that now I get to put in my creativity. I don't know how I'm going to hypnotize you. I don't know what sort of exact sub-slut you're going to be on that particular day. in real life on certain days, like getting into that relaxed hypnotic state, which I think is akin to subspace. I would say that subspace is a form of hypnosis, that highly suggestible space where you're like, oh, I will do anything. The only way to create that safely is for both parties to be like, yes, I want to go there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, once you're hypnotized, you're mine. And whatever happens to you, I'm responsible for, not you. And that's only if we create a container that has those agreements inherent in it, right? And then for me, I would be like, yeah, and what do you definitely not want to do? I think it's so funny how often people are like, I don't really have any boundaries. And I'm like, good. I have read all about anal fisting and I've been waiting for my first willing subject to approach me. And that's usually when they find out they actually do have some boundaries. They just hadn't considered all permutations and possibilities.
Yeah. I think maybe part of what DB is hoping for is the element of surprise during the hypnosis.
Oh, you'll be surprised, all right.
So maybe there's a world in which there's like the coverage of all of the things that they're excited about or willing to do, even if it's on like the edges of what they're comfortable with, if they want those edges to be pushed, going over those, but not knowing exactly what's going to be in the session because you're then in control.
Yeah. And even in any situation I've been in where whether I'm top or bottom, we prepare for all possible contingencies based on what's in our yes zone. And oftentimes we don't get to every single piece of the plan, and oftentimes it's because magic happens and things we didn't even know were going to happen evolve themselves, whether that's a toy or a scenario or something that we both like lean into. But yeah, I really love being surprised and surprising based on like the limitations and permutations that we offer ourselves. And, at the end of the day, making an agreement with another person isn't like telling someone how to do something, right? Like I can go to a restaurant and order a hamburger, but I'm not telling the chef how to prepare it exactly. And most of the time I'm like, I don't know, just don't put pickles on it, please. Or actually I'm evolving. I'm like, if it's a fancy pickle, not a gross squishy pickle, but like there are certain things we might say. I would say, please don't put a large chunk of raw tomato on mine. But if you want to, okay, actually now I am becoming, I would be the bottom that's like, do it this way. Just kidding. One of the things that is so delicious about being in that surrender of submission, which I do truly, unless it's a raw tomato or an olive. Like I went to a very, very fancy price fixed meal. They fed me so much food and they kept being like, Madame, another bread. And I was like, yeah. Are there 6 loaves of bread sitting over there? Yes. Did they send me home with a lot of them? Yes. Am I getting sidetracked? Yes. The point is, I only said, please don't feed me olives because also I will eat tomatoes in whole raw form if it's at a super fancy place because I trust the chef, I trust the artistry, I trust the co-creation. And my hope is for anyone who is out there wanting to embark upon something where they are pushing their limits and exploring the edges of their boundaries in a way that is, dicey and where we really are allowing this other person to hold a great deal of trust over you. You first of all, can you even let go enough to allow that to happen? Person who's afraid of like, oh no, what if I'm telling you how to do it? And the other thing is like, it's always a co-creation. Yeah. And what we create is magic and we never know what the two energies together are going to be like until we do the experiment. So I don't know. Did I cover everything in that? Is that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, on to our next question. This is a comment on the episode Etiquette at Legal Brothels, which is on our How to Brothel YouTube, which is separate from our Sex Stories podcast YouTube, just in case something gets taken down.
Well, and their YouTube, their podcast, their show, like their How to Brothel is a blog. It's also on YouTube. It's also wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, Sex Stories is YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We don't have a blog about it.
So this is a YouTube comment, and it says, thank you, Luna, for spending so much of your precious time and so much effort to put this video together. So many practical points and all of them backed with funny stories.
I love being practical.
Most decent people eventually fumble through and learn these sensible points the hard way. That's why this video is so important. I would have loved to have known these before starting my journey. Even though I'm in a different country, these are universal human traits. Thank you and good luck on your journey. Would love to visit one day. Question, why did you call one of your ex-clients a lover you had seen before? And is one term better than the other in different contexts?
Okay, so I recently had a couple of clients tell me that they were totally put off by the fact that I call people lovers, and I was like,
Oh.
"Really? Why?" And they're like, "Oh, it's like really personal." But then the more I listen to you, the more I'm like, "Oh, no, no, no. She has boundaries." So I
Oh.
think I don't know. To me, I think I use client lover and client lover mostly based on the comfort level of who I'm around. Certainly, I work with many people who would not refer to a client as a lover.
Sure.
And I also, I mean, obviously, I'm around all kinds of people with their sex stories where their lovers aren't necessarily clients. But also a lot of people meet their lovers through some form of work. I'm not talking about sex work here. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, maybe we all have a little bit of a work kink. It's not just me. Um, so no, I think for me, a lover is someone who I've been physically intimate with and shared like loving joy with. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm using it very much in a well, look, I grew up on Phantom of the Opera, and do I hear your lover makes a passionate plea? Like I love her. Like, yeah, I don't know. So I think it's just from that for me, honestly. Like
Okay.
they called Raoul and Christine lovers, and I think it's also that it's like accurate. Like we have been intimate. We're not necessarily friends. Like we haven't hung out in the ways that would make us friends. Now, I have clients that come back to see me again and again, and we're growing a friendship. Yeah, I really love getting to know people through sex in a way that makes sense, that's relevant, where we are both adding value to each other's lives in the direction of our own goals, right? Like I love
Yeah.
having shared goals with lovers. Sometimes that shared goal is like we have our overlap that looks like this, and we're both supporting, you're supporting my mission to make the world a sexier, more loving place, and I'm supporting your mission to like have confidence or joy in the world, whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, I mean, also anytime someone asks me what's better, I'm like, well, better than what in what context?
Mm.
So I could imagine in the situation where, say, a client falls in love with me and they're projecting all sorts of love feelings on me and they hear me call them a lover, maybe it brings up something that's like, oh, she lovers me, and also that's not usually my clients because someone was asking me if I had, scary situations happen with weirdo fans. And I'm like, no, like I mean, there's sometimes have been people that have sent things that are creepy, but those are not, it's clearly not people who are listening to the show. Like they're like 4 sentence, like someone is on a substance probably late at night. But the people that I hear from incoherent sentences, and especially the ones that later come on to be guests, I feel like are really, uh, not normal because none of us are, but relatable. Like
Yeah.
they're full humans,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of times, especially when people learn about the work that I do at the ranch, they expect me to be some sort of like subhuman sludge monster, and it's just not what it's like. But I don't know. Yeah, lover client. I also have been saying patron muses because
Oh.
it's it reminds me of the olden days. I'm like
Yeah.
Raoul was Christine's patron,
Mhm.
so that's hot. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm like, now I'm thinking about that more and more with the work kink. I'm like, yes, and all I want is a producing partner who shares my exact interests to mold and shape my work. And maybe I'll get caught in a love triangle about it. The Phantom is more formative than I realized, but okay, yeah.
All right.
I feel like I nailed that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Our next one is from Captain on YouTube. And Captain says, I'm a newbie to this topic and have been having ED issues, erectile dysfunction issues, for anyone who is not aware. Luckily, only moderate ones that are treatable. But the idea that someday I may not be able to get an erection at all is scary. The only other way I found is that possibly prostate play could give someone who is having ED issues a good chance to have the kind of release that is satisfying. I would love to hear the more granular explanation of how to use fingers and prostate massagers, i.e., how deep in do you go? What kind of lube and how much? Having a massager and lubing it up the way you do and the partner's derriere. I'm hoping what I'm asking for makes sense. It's hard to visualize what you need to do from just talking about it. Love the video and the information.
I love that. And also, I mean, the question has the answer, right? Like the best way to learn is a hands-on experience. And truly every body is different, and this is the sort of stuff that I do one-on-one that makes the work really one-on-one, because I can't say exactly how far, but far enough in that if you're using a finger that you can feel the lump of cartilage that is the prostate. And I definitely have talked to couples that were like, I never found it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, your finger, like in some people, if I'm only using my middle finger that's the longest, like I can't quite get there unless I can get them warmed up enough to add
A second
my
finger.
first finger. Yeah, my
'Cause then
pointer
it's less
finger, because
block.
then it's less block and I can get in there a little bit farther. If the person is shaped a certain way that I can't read, I mean, my fingers are not short, but it takes some extreme warm up. And I mean, look, we know what my favorite lube is. It's Uber Lube. They are not a sponsor of this podcast, but we do have an affiliate link
We have an affiliate link in the description below.
in the description below. And so, how much, I mean, that's a personal you question. You gotta explore your own butthole and your own partner. And like, I could give a graphic, like, and then I squirt it, and then I rub it, and then I make a star shape, and then and I think I actually
Do you
did
make
do
a
that.
star shape?
Oh yeah, if the butthole is a little winking at me, star, it might have lots of points.
Okay.
Not like a star you
Not like a star
draw
you would draw
with
where it's like
5
point, point,
square-
point, point.
No, but like just it's its own little starburst. So just follow the lines that it goes. Make some credit card motions with the hands. It depends, and the anal play that I can do on a partner is different from the anal play that I can do on myself, just because of how physiology works. But
Sorry, you can't sort of
I
dislocate
can't-
your shoulder blades and bend your elbows
I
backwards.
can't make a circle backwards to reach my full ass straight on.
Interesting.
Yet. But I
Yet.
feel like there probably are acrobats out there who can. Yeah,
Oh, that would be so
I'm not quite that bendy. But yeah, I've never actually played with an anal massager. I don't have a prostate or a penis. I do think that people get really, really in their head about ED. Like, I know that it's real for some people. And I also know many, 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 not to brag, many lovers who are like, I haven't been that hard since I was 28, and are like in their 50s or 60s having orgasm after orgasm. And I'm not saying I promise that. I certainly don't, because there are also a strong proportion of people who are like, well, I don't know if I can come in a condom, and now I'm thinking about coming in a condom, and I don't know. Oh, I think it's the condom's fault. I really think it's the condom's fault. I don't think I can come in a condom, and so and I'm blaming the condom, and the condom is the problem, and I just can't. And I'm like, with that energy, I guarantee you, it's not the condom.
Yeah,
And
that is
also
psychosomatic to a T.
Yeah, and it's and I get it. I mean, if I'm in my head about coming because someone's pressuring me, I will not come.
Yeah.
If I'm worried about a sensation or I'm distracted by it, yeah. Also, if I am in a mode where I mean, this doesn't happen to me, and this is why we do masturbation, meditation, sensation explorations of edging every September for full body reset or a low body reset. It really is fun.
And you can watch those if
You can watch those on
subscribe
OnlyFans. That's we scatter them out there. You can see from the past few years. But if I'm in a situation, and again, I don't do this, but if I were to like magic wand myself at full intensity multiple days in a row, and then try to like get off with someone's gentle cock fucking, like that's probably not going to make me come.
Yeah.
And so there are a huge combination of factors, and also some of us are over-contained energetically, like we're used to having to hold all the feelings in, so that can affect boners, and then there's the converse, which we hear other, penis owners are very, very concerned about coming too fast. So it's like, I come too soon, I don't come soon enough, I don't come at all, I don't come, I come and there's still come, and I want to retain my orgasm, and how do I want to come without exploding my orgasm, but I don't want to touch my butthole, like there's so many. I'm like, first of all, touch your butthole, get that blood flowing,
try it out.
If you have a good reason, like a hemorrhoid, to not touch it, I understand that. If it's stigma, shame, and fear, I can't say I understand it, and I am a proponent of getting blood flow to all the sensitive places. Yeah, and as for the specifics, it is confusing, so I'm not going to try to explain it with my mouth words any more than I already have. I think there is some more on prostate, but it really, really, really makes me want to get the funds together. If you're passionate about this, you can support this mission, but I really want to do the next iteration of on-camera erotic entertainment where I'm going through my bucket list with anyone who wants to, and crossing off the things and showing it up close. Like I really want to do that next. So it's a matter of timing and resources and getting all the legal documents in order and, figuring out, do I want to do a really good job or do I want to let it be kind of medium quality podcasty style? We'll see. We'll see.
We'll find out.
But that's another one where I'm like, oh, we got to do how to do it.
How to
Explicit
do it.
negotiation. We got to.
I think you answered that one beautifully.
I'm distracted now thinking about buttholes.
Yeah,
and stars.
we gotta move on from buttholes and stars. This is on Amy Baldwin's episode. It's a comment from JR, and
Yay.
JR says, Luna does an amazing job with these interviews. Thanks for another great video. Harry in the right places is so good. Amy talks about being very hairy, which we love.
We love that. We aspire to be hairy. I mean, I was never that thick and furry. Like I have gentle pubes, and like my armpit hair is so skinny you can't even see it. Even on the weeks I forget to shave.
I remember being jealous of my mother when I was younger because she didn't have visible leg hair or arm hair. I would shave my arms in, I want to say middle school to the first semester of college. I was incredibly ashamed of having hairy arms because there was a one-off comment where somebody like called me a gorilla in middle school.
Fuck that middle schooler.
Yeah. Middle school's rough for everyone. But that caused me to shave my arms for years and years and years. And now I'm like, it's hair. It's okay. Like, it's fine. Everyone has hair. And even if they choose not to, it's growing naturally out of my body. Like, it's okay. And sometimes I do want to be smooth, but I will never go back to shaving my arms. It's too much of a headache, and I can be smooth in other places in way easier to accomplish ways.
Yeah. I also, I do love smoothness. Like, I love softly smooth legs getting in a fresh sheets in bed. Is it soft? Oh, yeah. That's really good. That's really good. And especially when people are new to shaving, I'm like, leave your hair, be furry and soft rather than poking and chafing my
Cutting
sensitive
too.
regions. Yeah, but there are lots of people who shave their pubic regions or their legs or their arm, and I'm like, but now you're now you're like a piece of sandpaper to my most private areas.
Yeah.
Which is why I always leave a little bit of fur now. I just want to have some gentleness. So, and I love people who love hair. I don't mind. Sometimes people are like, do you care if I have hair? I'm like, no, unless you care if I pause to pull a hair out of my mouth if I need to. But that's gonna happen anyway. hair gets everywhere. People love hair, but I'm like, this gets in my mouth.
Yeah. We had to pause earlier and I had to take some hair off of you.
There's so much hair. It's always getting in my mouth everywhere.
All right. Next, I have a follow-up story from VV. So I've been wanting to send you another story I think you guys might like. I'm the toe fucker, by the way. And I forgot to add that my toe was clean and pedicured.
Okay.
We had just gotten out of the shower, too. So my new story is about two sisters that had something in common besides being sisters. I ran into the first sister one night at a club. I had known her for a few years, and she had been divorced for a few months. I bought her a drink and caught up. Later, we end up at my place. Things started getting hot, and we end up in my room, both buck naked, and started getting it on. I mount her missionary. It's now time to enter. She takes my cock in her hand and guides it into her asshole. No lube. I eased in all the way.
I just have to say, I can't condone no lube in assholes. Everyone gets to make their own choices, but I just want to prevent hemorrhages, prolapses, and hemorrhoids.
Any tearing. I eased in all the way, and I'm a little more than average size. I thought, how did you do that so quick? We fuck, and I shot a load in her ass. She loved it just as much as I did. Great evening. We hook up a few more times. Same drill. I fuck her pussy, but always end up in her ass where she's on top, doggy, reverse cowgirl. So now I'm kind of over it and stop seeing her.
Oh.
Still remain friends.
Okay. I love the honesty.
I love the honesty, yeah. About a month later, I'm out with a buddy and I run into her again. This time, she's with her married sister from out of town. We buy them cocktails and are having a good time, and we end up back at my place. This time, my buddy is with the anal queen, and I'm hanging with her sister. I end up with the sister in my room, and we're getting it on and start playing with her pussy. She's getting super wet, and I start gently probing her asshole, and she's loving it. She tells me her husband doesn't like playing with her ass, but she loves it. Once again, I'm fucking her ass. Her favorite position is when she stands and grabs her ankles, and I just fuck away using only spit for lube.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't believe what a coincidence, her and her sister loving and preferring anal. So fun. Well, that's my story. All true. Cheers, BB.
Okay. I'm like, where is this gonna go? Okay.
Everyone seemed to have a fun time.
Is it a coincidence? I mean, not everyone loves the same things in families, that's for sure. But also, like,
But I also wonder how common that people don't usually talk about their sex lives with their siblings.
most of them,
Most people don't. Most people
yeah,
don't talk about their sex lives,
with very many people,
even to their partner.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then a lot of people talk about their sex lives with their coworkers, but like on the DL. So I hear.
Should we talk about our sex lives with our coworkers?
Yes.
We
Well,
already do.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I was making a silly joke.
I was gonna say yes. We should be clear that we are primarily friends, but
Yeah.
we give each other massages in the hot tub, and we haven't had sex, and that's not on our future menu. That's where I thought you were going. I was like, okay, is this a good time? Are we done with the Q&A?
No, I was just making a silly joke.
I get the joke now. As a matter of fact, I think we should. Should we do it later in the episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll save it. We'll save it for the end. All right. Our next one is a YouTube comment from R, also on prostate massage and pegging. This was a very popular episode, by the way.
Hello to all the butt sluts. I see you. I
Although,
feel you.
funnily enough, this one starts with, I don't want my butthole touched, but
That's okay.
I do intend on visiting. I figured I'd just comment on your most recent post that you guys should really post more videos about the facilities at Sheri's Ranch, a legal brothel
Ew.
outside of Las Vegas in Nevada. I'm not finding a lot. The tours of the bungalows I've seen in particular seem to be a bit short.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear this entire share is, does licking count as touching?
I think so.
Okay. Well, they're missing out.
I think for people who are like, I don't want my butt touched, it's probably any separation of cheeks.
However, in the sessions where I have been massaging people, regular erotic, butthole is not included because that is specialty. I have been letting them know, like, hey, is it okay if I get into these nooks and crannies? I'm not actually going to touch your butthole, but I want to spread your cheeks. Is that okay? They've been saying yes when I use that clear frame. I think
okay.
it's the spreading of the cheeks when they don't know what that's going to lead
Yeah,
to.
they're like, oh,
because
what's
there's
that?
been so many stories I've received, at least, of surprise butt stuff.
If you touch someone, oh yeah, surprise butt. I was gonna say, well, if you touch someone's butt, it turns them gay. If you didn't know.
If only someone had touched mine sooner than I could have known. I didn't know. Like, I just didn't know. I didn't know. And it's funny because, like, I first was aroused by butt stuff by touching, a straight man, my first boyfriend. Like, I touched that butt and I was like, ooh. Because it also was like, if I could, like, he was just tall enough that it was like hard for me to reach if he was inside me, but I felt like such a beautiful connected loop of energy when we were both like inside. And I just didn't even know that I would like it so much. And then I really didn't know because the first few times, I mean, look, we really should all use lube. All of that is to say, the point of this question was not,
It was about the bungalows.
it was not about does licking count as touching. The point of this was, okay, so I've heard rumors, and I cannot confirm or deny these rumors, that the bungalows are due for an upgrade. I can tell you what's inside each bungalow, and I can see if they'll give me permission to do a tour the next time. In every bungalow, you walk in the front door, there's a little table and chairs on your left, a little counter right in front of you. You go through into this living room area, and most of them, there are couches and Arabian Nights, which they are redoing. It's carpet and pillows. There's a bed on the left and usually some side thing. If you're in the King Arthur, you're going to have a sword and a stone and some rocks on the floor. If you're in the 60s bungalow.
Oh, I didn't notice. I didn't realize that they were all
be careful.
individually
Oh, they're themed.
I didn't know that.
The 60s bungalow is the first one. Safari is number 2. That's the only one with posts. So if you want to get actually strapped to a bed, you got to have the Safari bungalow.
Sure.
So hopefully they're redoing that one, I heard. So hopefully they keep 4 posts in there, or get some more posted beds in all of them. Then there's the King Arthur, which there is a sword in the stone and a crown. And, all of them have a jacuzzi tub and a shower next door and like 2, a vanity with 2 sinks and a toilet. So it's like your whole own 4 walls.
Okay, nice.
And then there's the Roman one, which is the most like goddess and godlike, very simple, neutral tones. Not quite like the Lunar Temple, but it's doing its best. And then Arabian Nights has a little canopy and a magic lamp, or if you stroke it hard enough, something might happen. I don't know.
Oh.
Or no, maybe I get that confused with what happens in the room. I don't know. Anyway, I'll
If you
see.
stroke something hard
If you
enough
stroke
in a
something
bungalow,
hard,
something might
yeah,
happen.
that's the only part I can remember. Usually does. It's usually some kind of magic. Yeah, I think I know what a genie looks like. It's wet and sticky. Anyway, okay. I'm now having like a weird Aladdin porno, but comedy fantasy.
There's a lot of hijinks. Okay.
But yeah, the reason is we need permission from the ranch. So if you ever don't see locations, I do believe they had an incident with someone several years ago who was filming willy-nilly and then saying not so nice things, and we also need to be really careful about how we display the things, because while I'm a person where I'm like, yes, if I had an unlimited budget, do I constantly think about what I would add where? Oh, that's all I think about, and at the same time, what we have is great and we celebrate that. So yeah.
Amazing. All right, so our next one is also from Prostate Massage and Pegging.
Oh,
so
ooh.
Like I said, popular.
I love it.
And this is from CD. That was the best podcast I have ever watched. I have wanted to be pegged, but never had someone to do me. But I learned from your podcast that there's so much more to enjoy. And for that, I thank you. Too bad you don't teach a class, because I would definitely be one of your students. You mentioned a few times about a ranch. What is the ranch? Thank you very much. You are very good at what you do. I enjoyed you so much.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Well, so what is the ranch?
What is the ranch? Oh, well, Sheri's Ranch is a magical oasis that is a licensed legal brothel in the state of Nevada. And that is where goddesses, known as ladies here on Earth, are available. It's the only place where you can get specific about activity and put a price on it. And they negotiate those separately in their rooms when people come to visit. Wait, that's so interesting to me, because it's like, I'm like, I guess I don't specifically say here at Sheri's Ranch, blah, 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 because I am trying to give information while maintaining.
Yeah, somebody who found through an interest in pegging. And then,
I mean, we all have shared interests.
Yeah.
And it's also the way that I frame it. I'm never saying, you come here and do this with me. I would never say that. I'm saying, here's what's been possible, and here's what's been known to happen. Yeah.
And you give a lot of really helpful tips.
I love sharing learnings. Sharing learnings is one of my keys.
Our next one is from Miss BL from Instagram. We've actually got a couple from her. You've hinted at building a sensual retreat. I need to know more.
Ooh, I love this. Okay, well, I've been doing some test runs with some friends, and Kimberly is in the process of helping me do more test runs. I don't think it's ever going to be fully public, because we still obviously have to screen people, but I think like application-based invites for sensual retreats and it's not about sensuality per se, like that may be the focus of one of them. I'm figuring out, because I want to do everything all at once in one place. Me. And so I am envisioning creative retreats. I have been thinking through formats that are a 3-day, 2-night weekend, like a long weekend. I think it makes the most sense in my brain to do a 5-day one for anyone who's working on a creative project. So I'm imagining different offerings, but basically bringing people through the things that get them in touch with their own bodies. In my perfect world, we would do kind of like I do with my friends when we hang out, is hang out, eat some delicious snacks, record a podcast, eat more delicious snacks, take pictures before, sometimes during, and sometimes also after. I'll probably when I get to filming the explicit negotiation / how to do it sex ed of my dreams episodes, whatever we end up calling that, I imagine that I'll style that throughout like a day-long creative retreat with a partner / lover / co-creator. These retreats where I am hosting, where I'm holding space for people, I imagine talking through whatever creative blocks come up, doing some breath work and somatic work, since that is my current obsession and focus. So bringing some of those grounding tools into the creative process, and then helping people move and make magic. So I noticed that the more that I talk to people about what they're creating consciously, whether it's a writing or a painting or an actual like classic creative project, or whether they're like building their business, saving for their first home, building a partnership in a new relationship, like when they talk through their squiggles, they're usually actually not a squiggly problem. And so
Yeah.
I want to create spaces of nourishment with really, really good food. I know this chef, she's kind of incredible. Um, and there might be nepotism involved there, but a space where there's really, really good food, really delicious things. And so I think I'm still figuring out what the broader invite looks like, but the private ones I've been doing with 1 to 4 people have been really, really fun. What else do I have to say about it? It can be so many different things that's why I have to get organized before I'm making an invitation.
And I just want to say, I can 100% recommend Luna, spending time with Luna, because it's through essentially sensual retreats that I've learned how to live a more fulfilling life.
When you say more fulfilling, what do you mean?
I mean,
I think I know what you mean, but I don't know if they will know.
It's full of being in touch with my body, being in touch with my emotions, feeling more able to connect with other people, feeling like I am able to accept and do work that feels good to do and makes me feel really good as the world around me happens, like being very grounded in my existence and having practical, tangible foods to eat, things to do to make my body feel good. Wiggling is great. And all of the things that you do in your life that aren't even necessarily a teachable moment, I'm still learning from. You are constantly learning. You are constantly on your journey, and you and I share a lot of our journeys together. And I have just learned so many tools in my everyday life that have made my life so much better. Like, I 100% recommend being around Luna, even for a moment.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, now that you're saying it, I'm like, all of those trips. Okay, this is to answer the other confusing part of the question. All of those trips to the ranch, the other ranch, to the family ranch.
The family ranch. Yes.
Those were sort of dry runs.
Yeah.
And I've done more of them at Airbnbs and private locations, but that's so true because I think it's so easy too with like one other person. I mean, we vibe so hard. Like with if my sister's there doing food or if I'm doing food with my sister, it's different. But when it's just you and me, I'm like, grab that egg, put that there, do this thing. And that has totally changed how you've eaten. I will say I'm accused often of being a good influence on people because I'm like, I'm going to do my thing regardless. And then when I'm like, if I'm around you or if I'm around Gigi or like the people that want to have healthy habits, they're like, oh, I just needed someone to invite me to meditate. You know?
And you have so many examples in your life that you just do that are so helpful to watch and be part of and be invited into being. And so I meditate now because of you, and it has been so helpful. And then we do like our daily workouts, and we, all of the things that have just made me feel so in touch with being a human being.
Call it move our body because sometimes workout sounds hard, and we don't want to. Even if we have a work kink, we don't want to necessarily make another hard thing today, unless it's the fun kind of hard work.
Yeah. Sometimes you intend to go to the gym, and instead, you and your partner end up having sex for 2 hours in the middle of the afternoon, and you're like, well, who needs the gym?
Can we have those details now, or are you going to make us wait?
I can tell you now.
Okay.
So, there was a day where my partner and I were like, oh, we want to go to the gym. We want to move our bodies. The energy was just there to be able to go out and move. And so I went upstairs to go get changed into my workout gear, and my partner, who loves and appreciates my body so much, was sort of hanging out and already feeling kind of horny and was helping me get dressed in a way. Like, yeah.
I love both sides of that, right?
Yes. Yeah. And well, they ended up not helping that much in getting dressed, but we, I definitely got multiple orgasms out of it. And we were, I can't remember the exact positions that we were doing, but there was just a lot of really lovely sensual touch, like around and like on the thighs, like massaging close-ish to like the apex of the thighs.
Oh yeah.
And just pushing outward in this beautiful, tantalizing massage. And I was just like, okay, fuck me now, please. This is really nice. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. I recommend trying to go to the gym.
I always think I would pick multiple orgasms over putting on clothes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a workout. Yeah, and that thigh massage. I mean, are you talking about like in the creases, around the creases of?
It was like it kind of started in the
Yeah.
crease and then went down to like the center
Yeah.
of the thigh.
Okay, so you're going.
So
Yeah.
like I was on my back and my legs were like bent and up a little
Mhm.
bit. Not happy baby, but you know, kind of the halfway point to happy baby. And my partner was like massaging
So good.
my thighs up and like not quite, like a little bit of teasing, but not quite. And then they had something to get to at the 2-hour mark. And so with 10 minutes left, we were like, oh, whoops. And then we we finished up in sort of a rush, but it was really fun.
That's so. I mean, also having like a long time of turn on and then like getting to the climax part is so hot. And I really have been enjoying both giving and receiving on the pussy, like playing with the skin around the lips and just
Yes.
letting those sensations happen really slowly. And with my lovers who I'm teaching them how my body works, I'm really teaching that play. And when people want to skip those parts of sensations, I say, not yet. Not yet. She's not ready. She needs to get teased more. And like that like blood going up into
my
the
gosh,
legs, I
yeah.
love it. And,
Yeah.
and most of us have a lot of tension in our hips, you know, for
yeah.
various reasons.
Yeah.
But I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
do we have
Oh,
do
we
we have
sure
more
do.
questions? I'm distracted.
Yes. So this is also from Miss BL on Instagram, who is a real sweetie. But she also asks, which episodes helped you have your biggest aha moments? If you can remember off the top of your head.
Definitely Suzanne
Chase my pleasure, not
like
my
place your treasure.
orgasm.
I can't even talk. That's how excited I am. Suzanne's wisdom of chasing pleasure, not orgasms, is a huge, huge life-changing thing for me. You know, and all of them, right? Like I think I quote Suzanne probably the most.
The most, yeah.
I say it to almost everyone who comes to visit me at the ranch. I'm like, when did I come up with follow your heart and follow your part? Is that out of my brain?
I think
that's
that's
just out of my.
I think that's your brain, and I think it's pre me working on the podcast.
No.
I think it is.
I feel like it's a Lunaism at the ranch because I thought.
Really?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I say it to people in the bar a lot because I really believe it's the best way to lady up if you're
Oh.
visiting Sheri's. Broad strokes, not specific episode, but over the course of the years, like hearing the different ways that people will speak about kink or the different like levels of shyness or shame or fear, like the things that also that my body doesn't necessarily have a touchstone for.
Yeah.
So I'm like just seeing this pattern over and over again without necessarily having my own emotional response. You know, and what's been very interesting in this past week in my healer training class, we were supposed to focus on fear. Like that was like the theme of the week, you know. So we're doing breath work. We're like, is there a scary song? I didn't do the fullness of my homework because I was at the ranch and it was hard to be like uncontained, having all my feelings at once. So I have some catch up homework to do. But during the week that we were focused on fear, so many people visiting me at the ranch were like, I'm anxious, I'm scared, I'm nervous, it's really scary, I'm full of fear. And I was like, are you though? Like they didn't feel scared to me. And so I think one of the things that I've learned through interviewing people is people really do hide their feelings a lot in ways that trick me over and over again. And then it also has this funny reverberation because they then assume that I'm doing that. And I'm like, I couldn't possibly be more direct and right now. I am trying to use the exact words to represent the exact feelings as best I can in this imperfect exchange of symbology.
Something I've noticed in my relationships with people is that I've always been a person who I will only offer to do something if I actually mean it. And so that shows up everywhere. That's like, oh, do you want to get coffee? Do you want to get lunch? I can drive you to the airport. I'll help you move. Like any of those things, I'm not giving the offer unless it is a genuine offer. And so it confuses me when people don't do that. Yeah. But because that's the way I show up, I have heard actual feedback from friends where they're like, no, I really appreciate that because it feels like I can actually ask for what I want.
Yes.
It's because I know you'll be honest with me. Like even if I'm like, I actually can't do that, sorry, then it's okay. And people also know that like they can trust what I'm saying. And I would like everyone to live life that way.
I know. Well,
I
and
would
that's
love that.
something that I think we also built trust in and around for work purposes,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I think it's already so confusing to add layers of guessing. It's so hard for me to understand that that's the way most people work, and it's supposed to be polite. I can't understand that. Like that's really It's really confusing when regular human lives are considered polite,
Yeah.
and I struggle with that. But
Yeah.
the main thing about sex stories is I didn't realize truly how much I didn't know, and I still continue to be regularly shocked by how much sneaky shame is out there. And I think the other thing to piggyback off of that is when I realized how much shame and fear is out there, I also, in the process over the first, what did it take me, 3 years, I was like, wait a second. I seem to be more horny, less shamey, and much more logical than most of the people I'm talking to. And so it's like that was another piece of me being like, oh, there's no such thing as me learning normal.
Mm.
I can go put my skills to great use and pursue my dream of brotheling like I always have wanted. You know,
Yeah.
I can get the firsthand experience of my dreams. Might as well. I'm wired differently, apparently.
Yeah.
So I think that's the slow build of the aha moment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Our next one is from SS and says, "Hi, my husband and I are looking to have our first threesome. I was wondering if you could tell me if us women involved have to wear a female condom or such during oral sex."
So first, it's important to define what do we mean when we say female condom. So most of the time, there's the FC2 brand. That's an internal condom that you can use vaginally or anally. So it looks like a baggy version of a condom, a little bit bigger, and it has a little ring on the inside so you can shove it up in there and get it in place, and a bigger ring on the outside that you use to keep it outside the pussy. So that is for a penis owner to go into a hole of some kind. And you can come in them. You must be very careful, especially if your partner, you just have to be really careful with them because they can very easily have a mishap by going all the way inside and getting fucked in, and the cum comes in the pussy, and that's not what we want. So
Yeah, opposite, really.
So opposite, really. It's really the opposite. And so that's why their effectiveness rate is overall lower than a condom that goes over a penis. However, I think they are very, very hot in a threesome where, say, we have two ladies who work at the ranch and a penis owner who wants to be able to go back and forth from one pussy to the other, and we often will hold our own ones, or sometimes maybe we're doing a pussy stack, or like we might both have our internal condoms in.
Wait, pussy stack?
Oh my gosh! Wait, have I not talked about this? Okay,
I don't think so, or you haven't used the term yet.
Okay, so you know how I like to get squished.
Yes.
Imagine if I'm getting squished. I could be face down or face up, but I think it's a proper stack if I'm face down on the bed, like doggy style.
Okay.
I mean, the stack can go either way, but if you are face up, you gotta have pillows under there so you can get the right angle.
Oh, sure.
Or be on the very edge of the bed, but then you really want the bed to be the right height. And then the other pussy owner stacks on top. So it's like, and then they can go in here or in here, and you can go up, down, up, down, up, down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very
and
fun.
then, so it's like, have I done as many of them as I'd like? No. Do I love to get squished? Yes. Have I ever done a triple pussy stack? Not yet. But I don't know who I'm waving to. My future pussy
The person
stack
who's going to help
creator.
make your dreams come true.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, look, I love lining stuff up. So,
Yeah. Okay, so
in a situation where you have a pussy stack, it's helpful if each person has an internal condom, and you want to be holding it when the dick is going in. Either the person owning the dick holds it just to really make sure, or oftentimes I will hold it for a lady friend. So that is for P and V fucking. For going down on each other, I use Laurels or a dental dam. Laurels are the natural rubber latex panty that Melanie Crystal, who is a former guest on the pod, created.
Melanie.
We love Melanie.
And we also have an affiliate link. If you want to head on down to the description, you can also check out mylaurels.com. And I think the coupon code is LOVER.
Usually the coupon code is LOVER, or the link and the actual info is in the description below.
Yes.
And I'm getting better at organizing all of that. Soon there will be an affiliate link page on sexstoriespodcast.com. I just need to actually do it. And yeah, and those I fucking love. I get the sheer kind that is kind of a light see-through, off clearish color. It's not really pink, but
Hmm.
so you can see things in between. And I just had a really hot threesome with a couple who I showed them how to use it because they'd heard me talk about laurels and they'd experimented and they're like, we don't really get it.
Mm.
And you do need to give yourself a wedgie, like go into the cracks with fingers. I mean, don't go in a butthole unless that's on the agreement table. But you really, to use them in a pussy well, I really like putting fingers in if the pussy owning partner is ready for penetration at that point.
Mm.
Communicate about that, you should know. And then just like massaging to get them in the fold. And then I use the full mouth to go over it. So
Mm.
yes, we do use barriers for all sorts of fluid exchange if it's, a client's mouth on me in any case. For a couple who comes in, if they're fluid bonded, they can be fluid bonded. Like he doesn't need to use protection on his partner. She doesn't need to use protection on her partner. Like
Right.
they can put their mouths directly on each other if that's what they do. We just keep track of spit. Usually if we are sharing a boob or like both putting mouths on the. Sometimes I'll be like, and you get her all the time, so I get her nipples today. Sometimes if I'm greedy, I might say that, but oftentimes I'll make it so it's left for Luna, and so also hands wise because we want to make sure that our pHs always stay in balance. If if we're playing with multiple pussies, in any case, right? Like fluid bonded or not, like your body, depending on what your pH is, if it's different from your partner's, you will affect each other's pHs. Like, and most people are a little bit different from each other. So we always wash hands in between, or just remember left is for Luna and right is for the whoever else. So do you feel like that answers? Yeah. And the dental dams are the same thing. You just have to hold the barrier in place.
Yeah.
So that is how we do it. And it's hot and fun and safety is sexy.
Yeah. All right. Our next one is from A. Hey, Luna. Thank you very much for the very informative podcasts you do. I have only been to the ranch one time prior to listening to your podcasts. I sure wish I would have found these before I visited. So many tidbits within the series so far that I wish I had known before I arrived. I hope I am able to visit again in the future when you are present, as I would love to meet you. I have a quick question. When I visited the ranch, I was staying the night, and the hostess sent me to the bar prior to being able to check in. As soon as I sat down at the bar, girls began to approach me, which was okay. However, I would have loved to have been able to get a shower and clean up in my room first. Anyways, I never requested a bar call, but does that mean one was called for me unbeknownst to me? I feel bad after listening to your podcasts that some of them wasted time on me, as I certainly wasn't prepared to tip them all. Although I did buy drinks for the ones who were drinking. Going in as a nervous newbie, I had planned to have a few drinks at the bar and only request time with the couple that I was interested in from the website who were working, and not inconvenience any others by a bar call or lineup. I also wasn't comfortable telling the ones who approached me I wasn't interested, as I hadn't requested any call or lineup. In the end, I met a beautiful young lady and had a magical time. I just feel bad wasting anyone's time. Again, thank you for the podcasts and for being such a positive, bright star in this world. A.
I absolutely love that message. And I mean, that's not your fault. You don't have to be sorry about it. That is kind of how the system works sometimes. And unless we are very good at advocating for exactly what we want and need, it's sort of like if someone is there and says, yes, they do want to look at ladies, unless they're like, I am nervous, do not have anyone approach me until I say so. Like, unless they make a very clear, like, boundary like that. And even then, it's sort of like if that person doesn't have a request or an appointment, they are available for ladies to talk to. There's also a new rule that says that if we, a lady, are hanging out in the bar, we are now supposed to approach people, if we're going to sit out there. And the goal of that, I think, is a good one. It's, there's kind of an unspoken rule among the ladies of like, if you were in the bar first, it's your turn, basically. It's not an official rule, but it's sort of like a courtesy that ladies offer each other. And so if ladies have been sitting in the bar all day and they don't want to go, that we don't have any sort of communication system about like, are you going to go? Are you not going to go? Is it my turn? So that's why bar stuff is really tough for me because
No clear protocols.
there's no clear protocols and I can only stand there so long because it often smells like smoke or has loud music or there's a lot of people and my brain will start to short circuit. So I try to sit nearby, but it also means then I'm not in the queue. So I'm not going to be the first person to go up. And sometimes it's the first person that goes up that then they just want to go back with. So if there's no particular protocol, you just get thrown into that sort of like, because they're going to try to give you a tour. And we also want people to feel welcomed. Like it's a bummer if someone is nervous and shows up and then like nobody wants to talk to them. And oftentimes that happens because it's not necessarily communicated to us that that person is available.
Okay.
And so it's I always, if I am the first to approach someone, especially if it's a group of people, I'm like, look, it's easier for us to talk to you if you guys split up, if you are wanting to talk to ladies, or even better, if you see anyone in here that you think is cute, you go talk to them. Like that's the most normal, easeful human method, because otherwise it is part of the understanding that we will come up and greet you and at least like give, I mean, not you, but but maybe, I mean, people I know are not allowed to come visit me. Like they don't, if you came, you would, well, don't do it, but
I won't.
You're too recognizable.
I've got purple hair.
I did have a friend that was like driving through the Vegas area on the way back one time, and like it was a really good friend, and so she pretended to be a total stranger and to like want a tour with me just so she could see my room, and like it was a really cute, like very fun role play of like, I'm thinking of coming here with my husband and and I was like, yes, let me give you a tour, let me show you everything. So it's like that's the type of stuff that's really fun. Anyway, any other parts of that? It's so sweet for you to think of tipping people for chatting. It's not the norm. I'm trying to start more of that. Like, I mean, it's not the norm, so it's really hot when it happens, and I'm a person that doesn't drink, so it is also nice, if you don't want to like tip everyone, whatever. I think you should. I think money's hot. I think everyone who works at a brothel likes money. Tips of all sizes are always welcome. That said, they do keep track of our tips, and even though it is not for a service, if a tip is over $20, we are expected to split it with the house. So a $20 tip is always really appreciated. More is definitely always appreciated. Just know that we will have to be splitting that with the house. Unless there's a certain number of ladies on a certain tour of a certain size of people, and then there's some contingency rules that kick in, and I don't know. Like if it's a big group of people and a big tour on the ladies and it really is just a tour, then there's some different rules. But do we have more questions?
We have one final question, and it's one that I have fielded quite a lot, and it will be nice to have an answer to. So you used to say, hello, lovely humans, I'm Wyoh Lee, and you are listening to Sex Stories. Now you go by Luna Robbie. Some people are confused. Some people feel like they're missing sort of a Wyoh to Luna arc or transformation.
I didn't really mean to make it a thing. I guess if you just switch names and don't explain it, that's just as much of a thing. I am still comfortable with Wyoh, and I love to introduce myself as Luna now. I love to have the ease of Luna. Luna is my favorite name. I will never not be Wyoh. Wyoh is still my other main name. Wyoh is my artist name. I decided that it didn't make sense for Wyoh to be like artist and slutty, but then also have this other
it was
sexy
getting
character.
confusing.
There was too much. Yeah, and I am never not any of my other names. I am in fact one person. I did recently have one. I know. Isn't that funny?
I thought you had a bunch of clones.
Okay, but the clones are not me. Let's be very clear about that. The clones are characters and they have distinct personalities. I have not embodied all of them. They're part of a larger background mission to make the world a sexier, more loving place. I started to cosplay into that in my own real life that I think you're the only person that really knows the depth. Maybe like Natasha. There's like a couple of people that know the like backstory of Mission 69 that is simmering and bubbling, and that world is very rich.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And in that world, Wyoh and Luna have distinct personalities. Yeah. I live in real life, actually, even though I'm very whimsical, and I, as Luna, am the fullest expression of myself. And so I now introduce myself as Luna, especially because it's so nice to not have people like cringe when I say a name. Like I have,
what did you say? How do you spell that?
Huh? What? And to
Luna,
not
like the moon.
Luna like the moon. Yeah. And people saying that is great. And then people remember me. And I also love being moon-like because the moon, one of the reasons I love the moon so much is that she is a constant, but changes every day, and we go through cycles. And also, who doesn't love looking at the moon? It's so beautiful every time it comes up. And then on the night that it doesn't come up, you're like, oh, she's going to be here soon. And she's a really skinny sliver. And yes, oh my gosh, on this full supermoon that just passed where
It
it's
was so
not going to be
cool.
so close until 2042. I was like, I went outside and I was checking for it. I was at the ranch. I was the magical oasis, like looking, because it, depending on what time of year it comes up over a different part of the horizon. So I was like, oh, those big mountains. Okay, I'm watching.
Oh,
And
right
I
over
was
the
there
beautiful mountain
just at
range.
the moment as she was coming up over the mountains, and I ran back into the bar and I was like, everybody, come look at the moon. And I made all the ladies and the hostesses, I was like, come see how beautiful it is. And I will say, everyone was in awe. Like
Yeah.
and I mean, I love appreciating things, but I love appreciating things with other people, especially the moon. And I've decided that what I've previously thought of as sex stories red, which to
Mhm.
many other eyeballs is orange.
It looks orange to me. Yeah.
Okay, so I have been informed that my favorite color is orange, and I looked at my
Or
suitcases.
orange.
Well, so here's what I think it is: lunar blood orange.
Ooh, that's fun.
Because I'm like, it also captures the fact that I grew up on an orange farm. So,
Oh, yeah.
so all of that is to say, I
The
don't
moon
think
is
I
an
ever
orange.
explained the joke is Luna Robbie. To me, the joke is she's a moon robot, because I think I'm like the most programmable, sex bot good friend experience. And, the real joke is like, we are all human computers, just trying to figure out this existence. And
And they forgot to include a manual.
they forgot to include a manual, so we have to remember and maybe help each other to remember stuff and experience stuff and explore all of the things. But the joke is in The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, my favorite book by Robert Heinlein. Wyoh, the character, lives on Luna. So that is
Oh, I didn't realize that.
that's my silly nested joke.
Cute.
Not that I live on myself, but yeah, I did have a lover recently like invite Wyoh but not Luna to something, and I was like, they're connected. Like
I'm the same
if you don't
person.
want to be associated with the fullness that is Luna, then probably maybe stay far away from Wyoh too, because we have connected the dots. I don't know, the constellations are here. And and they were like, is one gonna be jealous of the other? And I'm like, well, first of all, I don't understand jealousy as it's certainly not. I'm the same person and I'm not competitive, so there's no teams. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not fighting. We actually get along, and that's what we're trying to help other people do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Wyoh is fine. Luna is fine. Just don't use any of my names with a mad tone.
Okay. I won't.
Yay!
Awesome. Well, that concludes the question and share portion of our beautiful episode, except for our sexy relational shares of
okay.
the past.
Okay, well, I feel
3
like
to 4
I
months.
just talked a little
You
bit.
did.
That's a little bit of my learnings, is I learned that people want to know which name to call me. The answer is you can also make up your own name. Just tell me that you did.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, Eunice, and you're like, what? That's not my name.
So Kimberly,
Hi.
what have you been sexy learning about, or what have you discovered over the past since whenever we recorded last?
So my top thing that I want to share, which I have not shared with you, is that my partner and I had access to a private hot tub. And it was one of those inflatable ones. It was like flat on the bottom and on the side. So there weren't like the built-in seats, that was my first experience with that. And it was so cool because you can really slide around. And my partner like finger fucked me in the hot tub. And it was so cool. It was, we were in Nevada and it was a cool night. And I had like my arms over the side of the inflatable edge. And so like the top portion of my body and my back was like pebbled with cold, but then the rest of my body was in the heat. And I was like floating in a way that my partner could basically like play with my clitoris and kind of finger fuck me at the same time because the water was holding me up. And so they were also like lightly moving me in the water as they finger fucked me.
Wait, your belly down.
So belly
like,
down,
over the side. Okay.
over the side.
But when they were, was it thumb inside or was it?
It was like both hands. And so it was like, I think it was like maybe middle finger, ring finger, or middle finger index. It was like 2 fingers. And then with the other hand, they were like providing support / pressure on
Hot.
like my
I love
mound
that.
into my clitoris.
I love that so much.
It was so cool. And I don't think like I technically didn't orgasm, but it was maybe some of the hottest sex we've had. Like it was
so hot.
so it was so cool and also hot. And I was like, oh, should we get an inflatable hot tub?
Yes.
We don't have the space for it, but maybe yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I think, or go to, well, because the inflatable ones, do those have chemicals or what's the water situation like?
It was like a salt water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, because that's also better for the body.
Yeah.
Well, I also have always, no, I haven't collected as many data points as I would like on this, but I do notice that when I have the added sensation of heat, and I haven't tried it with cold because that's not where my body's going, but I do feel like it's harder for me to actually peak when it's all hot everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it was also interesting. I was really just
Blissed.
out, really just in the sensations
I
of
love
like the
that.
hot and the cold and the pressure and like just breathing, like just feeling all of it was it was so good.
Wow. I mean, figuring out how to combat period cramps was great, but this is kind of next level. Ooh, okay.
What about you? What have you been learning these past however many months?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm realizing that it was the first week of September, the last time we recorded, because I distinctly remember where I was.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Pre-September's Edge. Or I guess start of
The
September's
very
Edge.
beginning, yeah. Well, let's see. Since the last time that we did learnings, I feel like I've lived a lifetime since then.
It has
feels like
felt
a
both
lot.
extremely long and extremely like
Slowy fasty.
slowy fasty.
Really slowy
for sure.
fasty. And that is a term that I consider technical loonish to describe the experience of time dilation that especially happens at the oasis that is Sheri's ranch. But fasty slowy time. Yeah, it's very drawn out and also so compressed and fast. I blinked and it's December.
Yeah.
Um,
It's almost 2026.
almost 2026. So, learnings wise, which is definitely affecting my connection and relational life, I have started my healer training, started that at the end of October, and I have been learning so much about the human body. I thought I knew a lot.
And you did.
I did. And I keep learning how much more there is to learn. And I'm like, oh. I would say I am especially enamored with the work of Peter Levine that's about somatic therapy and just learning how trauma is stored in the body.
Oh.
And now that I'm reading all of these texts that bring in the body and more details on the nervous system, and I'm also now getting into Inner Bonding, a book by Margaret Paul, who it's about inner child work, which to me very closely mirrors internal family systems therapy. All of that is to say, I have been operating as a healer in an unconscious way, and I had inklings toward that, but now I'm getting all of the reasons that the stuff that I've been doing with people works. I have a lot of experiences with people visiting me at the ranch and then being like, I've got a partner now. I overcame this thing.
Yeah.
I do, I've healed them. And part of the reason, I don't know if I told you about the absolute narcissist that I tried to date during the pandemic. I hung on way too long
Not
because
really. No, you
he would bring me really good breakfast burritos and I was scared to look for a new one,
Oh, sure.
And he was someone that every time we'd have sex, he'd be like, I swear I'm healed now. I was like, from what? He was like, all of my sexual stuff. And I was like, it doesn't seem like you had a whole lot. We didn't go too deep. He's like, I did. You're my sexual Sherpa. And I was like, I don't think you should say that. Please don't call me that. He's like, no, but you carried my heavy load. And I was like, is that a sex joke? He's like, no. I was like,
that
sounds
would be
like a
such
sex
a
joke.
good sex joke.
I know. It should have been, but him and then a couple other people would reflect back to me that they were having these great, wonderful experiences. And, when I think back to headshot sessions and, doing headshot parties and doing these 15-minute sessions with people that are really fast. And I would have someone breathe and calm them down and put your legs and bend your knees and let your spine be long and let the breath drop in this way. And I'm thinking through now all the years. So anyway, all that is to say, I'm looking at what I'm doing now and like the years of research and learning and everything that I've cobbled together. And now I'm reading these other texts that are like, and here's how to calm down a nervous system. And I'm like, I do know how to attune to a nervous system. I didn't know that's what that was, because I've always thought of just like floofing people. Like I think of
which
it
is
as making
it's
shapes.
so pleasant too when you floof, like when you're
When I
taking my
literally
picture, when
floof.
you literally
Yeah.
floof, it's like so satisfying because it's just like such specific conscious touch.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
like,
and it is incredibly intimate,
Yeah.
and I think for a while I was always like, why are people sharing their stories with me? And I mean, as a bartender, it always made sense because
Yeah.
they're getting drunk and they're
Oh, sure.
loosening up. And, when I was working the day shift, there were not very many other people. So it was this intimate environment. And then and with photography, especially even in the smaller sessions, but like the longer, if it was at least an hour, that one-on-one container. So anyway, all of that is to say, I'm learning how to get even better getting the other body to calm the fuck down, which is all I want out of sex. All I want out of sex is the other person to show up and be themselves and be honest about what they want and be clear as soon as they notice it changes and be a soft co-creator that is open to play with me. And that is also why I especially love older clients. Like I love people of all ages.
Yeah.
And I notice that with the younger ones, it takes a little more work to be like, calm down, and I'm metaphorically like shaking a rug. I'm like,
Shaking a
come on.
20-year-old.
They have to be at least 21.
I'm shaking a 21-year-old.
And energetically, it feels like what I have to do, or there's like a lot of the neurosis in that. Whereas oftentimes the people that are in their later years and they're so thrilled that I am, a beautiful pervert to match them, like because like, oh my gosh, she's into me, because there still is a lot of that, and like finding the people that are just so comfortable without all of the weird like, what is this? Do you like me? Do I like you? I'm going to project all of my one true love onto you and you're going to marry me. And blah, blah, blah. Like I think even in the casual dating spheres, that still exists. Even in the kink places where it's like, we're going to explicitly negotiate this dynamic. Now, I have not had as much time invested into like kink. I'm like, are we gonna go to Kink Fest? I don't know. We got to figure it out. But kinky scenarios, even when they're explicitly negotiated, there still can be that confusion of like, what is this? And I feel like when I'm at the ranch and people pick me and then they're excited and it's a clear mutual yes, it's just so fun. Like it's so fun and it's so open. And now that I am better and better at creating that energy and like inviting people to step into that, it's so much fun. I would say that's probably my top learning. My other learning is like my patience is still growing.
I got a necklace that says patience so that I can be like, I have patience. I have patience. I am okay because I'm learning, I'm practicing and I have it and it's all okay.
Maybe I need one that starts like very small, like the P is very small and then gets bigger so I can say I'm growing my patience. I'm growing my patience. And again, I'm not growing it so much or large to be at odds with my needs and boundaries.
Yeah.
Like I think also what I'm doing is like really like setting boundaries has been interesting to learn about. And I'm like, oh, one of the reasons I'm so pokey to people is because I'm like, what are you doing? This is clearly my boundary. Get out, dummy. And I'm not the most like, comfortable for people sometimes.
Yeah.
But also,
but for others of us, it's very nice how clear it is.
For those of us who are not trying to secretly cross a boundary, I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing is like, I'm learning more and more that my yes is such a clear yes that if someone can't play inside of it, it's just actually outside of my bounds of what's okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any sort of work, whether I'm a photographer or a writing coach or a relationship coach or a legal courtesan, where I have to pretend to like the person to tolerate the situation.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
What's the positive version of that?
Oh, yes. I only accept situations in my life, whether I am being a photographer or a writer or a courtesan or any other thing, where I feel confident that I can help that person and that person is ready, willing, and able to show up for the fullness of themselves so we can play with the most amount of fun. because my yes is big. And so if we can play in the rules that are on the table, great. And if not, go over there. I wish you well, and I wish you far away from me. And I think the other big learning is that I really do want to go forth with my erotic bucket list. I am my Christmas present to myself. By the time this comes out, hopefully my bucket list will be organized. We'll see. It might stretch into the new year, but
Christmas gift.
I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna organize that spreadsheet in its multi-dimensional facets because I want to cross them off, and I do want to document them for me. And even though my brain is like, seems like a dumb time to put yourself on camera naked more, I'm like, well, I already have masturbation meditations out there, just because a lot of adult performers are being targeted in new ways with some of the new laws that are coming out, and we don't know what's happening with OnlyFans. There's a lot of complicated things in this land of censorship, and at the same time, what's exceedingly clear to me is I do want to have these experiences and do the things safely and document it for educational purposes. It would seem like such a waste to have a gangbang and not capture it on camera and be able to interview everyone about it. And I know that might limit the who says yes to it. And also I really am increasingly turned on by the idea of collaborators and co-creators who are willing to show up as they are to play and explore and negotiate out loud and debrief. And then in my perfect world, we at least talk about how we would make it a slutty, raunchy, fun to film porno. And then the best case scenario, we film it and do the behind the scenes content. So that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm stoked about. I am so curious to see what happens as my ability to energetically drop in with people, because supposedly my clairvoyant skills will grow and grow.
Great.
I have a lot of intuition that I don't really trust, but I am, it's there, it's listening. I'm learning to listen. So yeah, those are not my, I mean, I'm like, now I'm in comparison mode. I'm like, you had way better explicit details.
That's okay.
I'm like, I didn't masturbate in a hot tub. Did I?
I can't imagine that you've never masturbated in a hot tub in the last 4 months.
I'm like, since September, I don't know. I think I haven't been masturbating in it or had anyone fuck me in a hot tub. I have been fondled in bubble baths.
That's nice.
Which is really nice.
That's really lovely.
Really lovely. Okay, so wrap up by saying we may still have some spots open for the 2026. Well, we'll roll into 2027 season. We are planning to get a bunch of them done in January. We have a very full recording calendar.
Yes, we do.
And we are now going to be doing some recording in the wild at AVNs, which is Adult Video Network. What does it stand for? Adult Video Nominations? Adult Video something. It's the Adult Video Awards. Yeah. It's where all the porn stars go and their fans can go meet them. And it's at the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas. So we're going to be there with a microphone. Kimberly has purple, possibly blue hair, depending on when we are in the cycle of dye. Ideally, I will be wearing a hat with a sproing and a sign that says "Share a sex story." Or what do you think? Share a sex story. Tell me a sex story.
I think share a sex story.
I mean, that's what I always say.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get some sort of. I gotta figure out what to wear.
I could screen print you a T-shirt.
Well, I'm like, should it have more boobs in it though to attract the eyeballs?
Maybe I can screen print on anything.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out our outfits, but the whole point will be, soliciting some sex stories in the wild. And then we're just going to keep the recording calendar open until we fill up our block through 2027, beginning through January 2027. Yeah, we're making headway. So again, if you have not yet applied to be a guest and want to share stories with us, do that. It can also be short form. So you can always share a short form voice memo recording. You can also just record them on your phone and use a file transfer to send that to us. Let us know if you're confused technologically and we can send you a link to help.
sexstoriespodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to apply to be a guest, sexstoriespodcast.com/guest to submit your information.
Yes. And I always love details of the who, what, when, where, how, why, what did it taste like, etc. And again, if you are ever in the Vegas area when I am at Sheri's Ranch, you can come by for a tour and to record something in person. Do give me a heads up because I do put my recording equipment away so as to not freak people out.
Oh,
like just having microphones they're like, out when someone doesn't know what I do. They're like, they're listening. And I'm like, they are, but it's not what you think. Okay, is there anything else we need to say?
I don't think so.
All right, lovers. We are officially celebrating 7 years of sex stories. So we're going into our 8th, which is infinitely exciting, feels very magical.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us be in your ears, whether you are joining us for the first time or returning for many, many times. Also, if you are someone who's been like listening forever and thinks about applying to be a guest and just hasn't yet, I hope you do it because I don't know what the future years are going to bring. And also, if I really can do the next level where someone records sex stories and then negotiates about what we'll do on camera, and then we do it on camera, and then we recap, and then we turn it into a porno, I don't know. It might just change the texture of all of it. I
True,
can
yeah.
imagine that I will
The
want
evolution
to
is
prioritize
evolving.
those episodes.
Yeah.
I can just imagine. And that's going to take up at least a day. So,
But we always love classic sex stories.
but yeah, I love details. And that's the thing. It's like, there's always some hot, mutually agreeable way to connect. And I love doing that in ways that we can learn with and from each other. So, Kimberly, thank you for joining me today to co-host this mailbag episode. And truly, thank you for gathering these questions
Yeah,
for me.
my pleasure.
And keeping them organized for us because I love answering them and I really struggle with emails. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. Happy New Year, lovers.
Happy New Year.
I hope that your year starts off with some incredible sex stories. Let us know about your sexy intentions. And, we're types of people that like those sexy intentions to last all year long.
Yeah.
Lovely humans. That is our show. Remember to follow your hearts and follow your parts and follow me on the internet for links to all the things. Podcast guest submissions, photo sessions, creative coaching, or to wander deeper down my internet rabbit holes, head to sexstoriespodcast.com and lunarobbie.com. Support the show and get ad-free episodes and access to the community live streams at patreon.com/howtowoo. To go deeper, see my exclusive self-portraits, masturbation, meditation, sensation, explorations of edging, or to tell me your most personal pleasures, thoughts, and feelings, maybe you even show me, join me on OnlyFans. Links are in the description below. Remember to tell a friend, leave a review, heart, or thumbs up this show wherever you're listening. It helps us grow, and I love watching things grow. Please, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, let me know how you're spreading ripples of love, and remember to share sex stories.